Hello, this is my book haul video for August and September part 2. I will start with hardbacks. In the last video I mentioned that I had bought the 5 Philip Harbottle pamphlets, and I bought with 2 other books that were hardbacks, so I'll show you those. It's an online buy. First was Brandon Sanderson, book 3 of the Stormlight archive, and that was inscribed, so a signed copy. About the only fault is a very tiny mark to the bottom of the dust jacket there. Not cheap, cost me £80 including postage, but I thought it was a good buy, or a decent price. The other one I bought, which is the limited edition Aurora's End. It's the 3rd book in the trilogy. It's signed by both authors. Fairly cheap, £10, and it's about a fair market price. About 2 weeks ago, I went to a talk and signing by Philip Hamilton, who was interviewed by Paul Macaulay. I took a number of other books to get signed, but I also bought at the event this, Exodus, and I got Peter to sign, line and date it. In my view, Peter was, at one point, the best SF author in the UK, and as far as I know, he may still well be. So I was pleased to get that. He is apparently already working on the sequel. No real bargains from charity shops this month. These were all, I think, relatively expensive. The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett. I haven't read any books by him, but I have a couple of others. So whether I'll ever get round to reading him, I don't know. Again, another one I bought. This is the book 2 in the Cinder Spires series. I don't know how many there will be. I have a copy of book 1 in hardback, and I saw this at £8, and I thought I should get it as I already had book 1. And finally, just 3 or 4 days ago, I bought this. I really enjoyed the Expanse series, and the 2 authors work brilliantly together, so I had to buy this, which is the first of their new series. And that covers my hardback buys. So more than I normally buy, but say no bargains really in these 2 months. I'll now move on to mass market paperbacks, where I did get 1 or 2 bargains. First of all, Robert Rankin, Waiting for Godalming, a signed copy. I think that's the first signed Robert Rankin that I've got, so quite pleased to get that, and it was very reasonable. Another book I bought, this one, Stopwatch, edited by George Hay. Now I haven't got many books by George Hay. If you can see, there are some of the stories in it. Not particularly cheap, but a nice copy. The next one is one I already have, but it was a lovely copy of this, the Shadow of the Seer. Lovely condition. This used to be a £40 book. I saw it for £2.50, so I couldn't resist. Not certain whether this will be better than my copy. I haven't yet tried to compare. Next, an old classic, The Death of Grass. A nice copy. Again, I have a copy, but I don't know whether this will be better or not. I haven't yet got around to comparing. Again, a rather recent one, A Book of Strange Stories. Now, Herbert van Taal, perhaps best known for his horror series, the Pan horror series, which I've got a fair number but haven't completed. And seeing this, I thought it was worth adding. Next, a book I really know nothing about. Nice condition. Again, not particularly cheap. I think it was about £5. Oh, £6.50 I've got inside. Whether that's what I actually paid, I don't know, but I think it possibly was. Or maybe I paid a bit less. I can't remember. I know nothing about that book. Next, Robert Sheckley book. So it looks as though this is linked to the film version. It's a Mayflower Dell. Lovely condition, so I couldn't resist. Next one, Theodore Sturgeon, Caviar. Again, I thought I had most of the Sturgeons when I was in this shop. It was an Oxfam charity bookshop, but I didn't have this one, this title, so I was pleased to get that. Now some that I bought online. Crimson Witch. This is probably the hardest of the early Dean Koontz books to find. This is very nice condition, not perfect but pretty good. It's by Curtis Books, and I'm delighted because I have all the other early Koontz paperbacks. Not cheap, that cost £30. This one is an upgrade, not a huge upgrade, but I was pleased to get it. I've collected all the Timescape books and a chance to upgrade one to what is near perfect. I couldn't resist. And finally, in the mass market sizes, Powell Anderson, The Devil's Game. Not one I know, not one I've ever read, and certainly not one I had. So again, I couldn't resist. Moving on to trade or B format paperbacks. In the last, or in part A, I mentioned the Mercedes Lackey Valdemar books that I picked up from the shop that offers free books. I haven't really got anything else from there of any interest, but I did get 3 from Station book swaps. Nothing special, but I'll show you them anyway. Alfred Bester, The Demolished Man. It's a reprint. Lovely condition, and it's not one I've read, so I'm going to use that as my reading copy. Again from another Station, a different one. In Universe is Emmett North. Know nothing about him, but it's a proof. And I am sort of rather fond of picking up proofs. Whether it's any good or not, I have absolutely no idea. Finally, one I picked up a few weeks ago, Babel. Again, a reprint. It's been read and it's got mild spine creases, so I'm treating it as a reading copy. I haven't got a copy of this book, and as you can see, I'm part of the way, or 2/3 of the way through. I'm impressed. I'm interested to see how it will finish. Another one I got, Jeff Vandermeer. Now I'm afraid I haven't read Jeff Vandermeer. I think this is the only book or any novel of his that I've got. So I should put that aside. One that I'd never seen before and apparently isn't valuable or particularly rare is this. The Complete Book of Science Fiction and Fantasy Lists. I haven't yet had a look through, but I hadn't seen this before, so I thought I would get it. Now on to one that is relatively rare. It's a while since I've read any Howard Waldrop, but this looks to be a very interesting book, very nice condition. Strange Things in Close-Up, the nearly complete Howard Waldrop. From the looks of things, this is probably a £40 book, so I was pleased to get that. Going back about almost 2 months, start of August, I picked up this. Now I have this. This is a first printing, and it is in really lovely condition. I wouldn't have bought it but for the fact it's in such beautiful condition. I haven't yet compared it with my copy, so I think that was a very good find. And finally, 2 books by Charles Stross from the Laundry Files. I'm still trying to complete my set of the Laundry Files, but it was nice to pick those up. And that is it. So that is my latest book haul update. Thank you. By all means, add comments or subscribe. Thank you.